I'm here. Give me a minute. I'm here. I'm here. Just give me a few minutes. I'm right here. Oh, man. I'll be there in a few. My freaking head hurts. Hold on. Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. Oh, man. Hey, hello. I was just taking a nap. I'm trying to wake up, so. Oh, ha ha ha. Shoot, I'm so tired. Oh, man. What's going on, everybody? Oh, I like super freaking. No, I think the sun just did it to me. It's not that I'm really tired. The sun just like really cooked me today. Oh man, jeez. Now try the cookies. Yeah, if you got Joe Rogan from Wish, that would be me. I had I tried the cookies in the MRE. They're really hard. They're like dried out. They're usually soft when I get them. For some reason, they were hard. They're like dog treats, like bricks, like small shortcake bricks. And then there's a small piece of the sweet sausage left, and my dog got a hold of it. And like 10 minutes later, he puked all over my leg. I think he just like kind of swallowed it. He didn't even chew it up because basically the whole piece that he ate just fell onto my leg, and then a bunch of liquid came out. So it was like warm, slimy, sweet sausage beef stick on my leg. That was just gross. Oh man. Is this? Oh man. The camera just swept around, didn't it? Nice. Shh. Oh. Which one did you get? Did you get the um did you get the freaking what flavor did you get? Oh, here you go. I wanted to show you that. I wanted to show you that, Noodles. What's going on, Slingshot Warrior? So this is that freaking safe, and I can't move it right now. I drilled that hole in there in the back, and then I took my boring camera and I sent it through to check it out to see what was in there, and there was nothing inside the top. But I got to get another there and try to get the bottom out. I'm just there's some. Oh man, I got zero room down here. It's kind of just getting my wash out of the washer. That's awesome. That's how I got into it. Like, I grew up watching it, honestly. Like, I remember waking up one morning, and I think it was like 84 or 83, and my dad was like screaming at me, Hulk Hogan's wrestling the Iron Sheik for the title. He's wrestling Iron Sheik for the world title. You gotta wake up and watch it. It was like 8 o'clock in the morning on a Saturday. He was like screaming, right? So I had to get up to watch it. And I got to see the day that Hulkamania was born, when Hulkamania won, or Hulk Hogan the world title from the Iron Sheik. I got to see that live on TV, and I thought it was the coolest thing ever. They aired that on I don't forget what station it was, but it was like they really went into it on that one. When he pinned, he got out of the camel clutch and hit the Iron Sheik with the big boot and leg drop. That's kind of how I got into things, That's how I got into, like, wanting to, not, when I was a kid. Gotcha. Okay. My dad, like, he it was probably wrestling and football, but it was more wrestling than football. But so that's how it started. Like, just the whole seeing Hulk Hogan, and then that whole year of school. I know I was in a I forget what grade I would have been in, but I remember every year they would ask me what I wanted to do when I grew up, and I said, I want to be a wrestler. I want to be a wrestler. That's what I always wanted to do. I wanted to be a pro wrestler. And I'd always say that, through school and stuff. And then I got like 5th or 6th grade, and Rick Rude, Nathan Perry, what's going on? And I got to like 5th or 6th grade, and I got into boxing. I was into, like I said, I was into boxing. So I was actually trained to be a boxer. I boxed for, I don't remember how many years it was for. I was there for a little while, a couple years, and so I did that. That kind of got me away from, I still watch wrestling and everything, but I could really go into this story forever. We'll have to save that for another time. But yeah, fucking drugs. I forget what I was talking about. Ravishing Rick Rude. Ravishing Rick Rude. That dude's funny. I used to like when he would come out and the stuff that Rick Rude would say. You remember all the stuff that he would say when he came out? Now, what I want for all you fat, ugly, out of shape, inner city sweat hogs, keep the noise down while I take my robe off and show your women what a real man's supposed to look like. Oh, man. He was a freaking riot. That dude was a riot. Yeah, it happens. It's a shame, but it happens. It was terrible. Yeah, that was the big. Who was your favorite wrestling character? Well, I mean Hulk Hogan, but then I got into like the Southern wrestlers like Barry Windham, Stan Hansen, Dusty Rhodes. Those are the guys that I really like. Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, um, Ric Flair, but mostly like Barry Windham, Stan Hansen, Blackjack Mulligan. I really like the cowboy, like the Texas type wrestlers. They always had that like smash mouth style about them. I like that they just it always no matter how fake you knew that it was, you thought that those guys were really busting people up. JYD. I got to see him live. I never was in a locker room with him, but I got to see him wrestle live against Greg the Hammer Valentine. I think the coolest the coolest wrestling story that I have would have to be the first wrestling show that I ever went to. Um, the main event was Barry Windham, Mike Rotundo against the Iron Sheik and Nikolai Volkov, right, for the tag team, the WWF tag team titles. It was the main event. I was little. I was probably like 8, 7 or 8. I was so young, and you know, go ahead to 2012, and I'm in the main event on an independent wrestling card, and guess who I'm wrestling against? Nikolai Volkov. That was when I that was a time in my wrestling career where I was like, this has to be the coolest thing ever. Like, you get out to the ring, you know who you're wrestling. You know what I mean? You get out there, you walk out to the ring, you know, then he comes out, and the crowd's, you know, into him, they like him, and you know, he's walking to the ring. You don't get that. You get that, oh man, like, look, Nikolai Volkov's going to the ring. You know, you don't think you got to wrestle this guy. You know, you talk to the back, you know you're wrestling him, but you're not thinking about it because you're watching one of your, you know, one of the people you know grew up watching, maybe one of your idols or something like that's walking around the ring, and it's just like you're watching it as a kid again. And then they get into the ring, and you know, they do the announcing and everything. It's still surreal. As soon as that bell rings
and you're walking around the ring looking into the eyes of someone that you grew up watching, it's a complete it's a complete experience. Like I can't even explain what that's like to look across the ring at somebody like that. Like I don't even know. Like I don't even. The last time I wrestled anybody that was decently well known, I wrestled the Rock and Roll Express. Um, Ricky Morton and Robert Gibson. Uh, right after they were inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame, I wrestled them. That video is actually on is on here. It's on YouTube. It's pretty crazy. Was he rough? Squidward, what's going on? Was he rough? In a sense, I can't say that he was rough to the point where he was purposely hurting me, but he would throw his strikes, and everything was thrown with enough velocity that it looked where it made the effect. Let's just say that it made the effect. Worst injury. Um, I can't really say I had, wrestling. Like, I've had injuries, other things. Um, Nothing crazy, honestly. Concussions. Uh, let's see. Had a other than the more exertion, it just the during trading, overexerting myself. Um, I did have a couple cases of dehydration, uh, and just getting real sick, passing out, throwing up, like minimal stuff like that. Broken fingers here and there, but you just snap those back in place and just keep going. I think shoulder, just I've got, I'm sure my freaking um, the tendons and muscles in my shoulders probably look like Swiss cheese. Uh, I can't say that I really had. I've had like what are they, hematomas under the skin and stuff like that. But concussions. I had a kendo stick busted over top of my head. I had a lump on my head. Like, I mean, it was like bing bang. Biggest scumbag in the industry. Oh man, I know so many. Know so many. MMA's they're not characters. Those dudes fight. They're not fake. They're real fighters. They're not fake. As far as scumbags go in the industry, man, there's so many scumbags, low life pieces of trash, garbage, and I don't give a fuck who's listening to this right now because you know who you are. um, can't say I can't even put them in I can't. There's no categories. A pro arm wrestler. A pro arm wrestler. He did something else too, and I can't remember what it was. Um, he did something else too, and I can't remember what it was. He might have been a bouncer. A lot of the like the Legion of Doom and the guys from Demolition and um, bunch of those guys, they just were bouncers. They were door guys at bars that were trying to look to get extra money, so they started wrestling. Honestly, but yeah. When it comes to scumbags, there's a lot of them. Yeah, it's a shame that who was the strongest dude you ever had a match with? Oh man, damn, I can't even think. I'm trying to remember who that was that lifted me up over my freaking head or over their head. I didn't just like nothing. Man, it would have to be across a friend of mine named Bill. He's from Western PA. He was bigger than Ryback, if you know who Ryback was, and he was bigger than Brock Lesnar and freaking Goldberg. Um, they had him in the locker room um, with Ryback, and he was bigger than Ryback, and they were like, "Yeah, he can't wrestle Ryback. He's too big." He grabbed me off the ground and just picked me up and just lifted me over his head like I was nothing. But then Tony Atlas, his hand is the size of like my leg. Like literally, like his hand make, and I have pretty big hands. His hand makes my hand look like a child's hand. We could go into a little story about Mr. Atlas too. I have pictures of he. I have video of it. I don't have pictures, but he has a whole uh, photo album full of women. He has photos of women that he would have women like stand on his face like this with one foot right on his, like he would have them stand right here, right, and take pictures like standing on his face. Yeah, it's weird. I don't know what that's called, but it's strange. Strange. Yeah, I would have to say, yeah, some of those guys are all the older wrestlers are all they call, we used to call them dinosaurs, and not because they were big or not because they were old, because they were huge dudes. They all had like the barrel chest going, you know what I mean? Like just crazy big dudes, scary, scary big dudes. Oh man. Oh man. Let's see, where were we at? So yeah, they're probably the two. Those two were probably the strongest I've ever been in the ring with. Just because they were just. Like Bill's really really strong. Like he was training to be one of those uh strongest men in the strongest man competition. You resemble George the Animal Steel. Do you eat cigars? No. No, I don't. You gonna ask me if I get cannon shot into my stomach too? I'm delirious. I'm trying to think if there was anybody weird like that that ate like weird stuff. Did you have a schlick? A schlick? A shick? Oh, a gimmick? Like I'm thinking like schlick. Um, so at the beginning I really didn't have a gimmick. Um, it was kind of just like, put a mask on and try to uh try to just be like scary. You know what I mean? Like I wore a mask. It had like a skull face on it. It was actually what it was. Um, the mask was uh, the Danzig, basically the Danzig skull, without the horns, just the with the the like the bull skeleton, the bull demon thing with the fangs and everything, and that's what I had. So I just and then I had the pants with the fiend skull. I had the fiend skull on the pants, and I just went out and wrestled. Like I didn't really like have a gimmick. Like I didn't really, can't really say that I had a gimmick. It was just like, oh, this guy, you know what I mean? I was supposed to be a bad guy and just look scary and go out there and growl and grunt. And then I was like, well, this really isn't selling anything. And what should I do? I mean, yeah, it's a cool look and everything. So I had another friend that was a wrestler, and he was into the Misfits too. So we created a tag team and called it the Fiend Club. I mean, why wouldn't you call it the Fiend Club? You know what I mean? And we were basically, just like Misfit fans. That's what we were. That's what our gimmick was. We were just Misfit fans that like to beat people up. And it kind of sucked because we were bad guys, but we wanted to come out to the, I hate the newer Misfit stuff. We were going to come out to the Fiend, we are the Fiend Club. But coming out to that as bad guys really, really wasn't going to, if we could have came out as good guys, it probably would have been over a little bit more and probably would have been, you know, a little bit more profitable for us in the long run. But we always ended up being the bad guys because we had the scary look going. And we went from there. I got away from it a little bit. I was doing singles and I was just wrestling as me. Then I got my mask taken off. And then it was like, oh man, what do I do? But they turned me into a good guy. So I went from being this bad dude, the bigger dude in the tag team, to where this guy like went after me, beat me up, took my mask off, buried me, put me in a coffin, and wheeled me into the back and threw me off a bridge. All this stuff, blah blah blah, set me on fire, and then I came back and him and I just beat the crap out of each other for a while. Built my character up as just me, and it was like me, but like on a my personality just bigger. I'm fans of HTM. Have you ever met him? HTM. I don't know what HTM is. I don't really watch the newer stuff. HTM. Who is that? Oh, oh. That dude smoked a lot of weed and a lot of other stuff. I never got to actually meet him. I heard stories about him, but I never actually got to sit down and talk to him. He's one of the guys that I wanted to and never got a chance to. The dude was wild. Wild man. Did you ever see any of the shoot interviews? So you have some boxing stories. You know, when I boxed, I was pretty young when I started boxing, and I don't really remember much about it other than just, I mean, I was always we just busted our ass. That's all we really did. But I do have a celebrity boxing story. I got to watch. Oh man, I got to watch Rodney King fight a state police officer in Philly. So I got to see Rodney King before he died. They put him in the ring with this, and they just brought this random cop in. I don't know where they got him from, and they got into the ring, and as soon as the bell rang, Rodney King, I mean, he basically sprinted across the ring and just beat the shit out of this cop for like 2 minutes. He just pounded on this dude. The referee didn't stop it. And it was like he just pounded this dude the fuck out. The bell rings. They drag the cop over to the corner and sit him down in the chair. They fucking, do the thing, get back up. The bell rings. Rodney King runs across the fucking ring and just floors this cop. And he's on the ground, and Rodney King's still punching this cop, beating the fuck out of him. And the referee just lets it go. He just keeps pounding his fucking. I don't, like I said, I don't know where they got this cop from, but Rodney King beat the fuck out of this cop, and then he died. But that was one of the craziest things I've ever seen. Not like at a wrestling event or anything like that. Like, I mean, I've seen some crazy shit happen. I seen, um, I was up in northern PA watching a wrestling show. There was probably like 5 people in the crowd, and Jake the Snake was there. And he didn't have the snake with him or anything like that. It was just him, and he's wrestling the dude. And hey, comedy, what's going on? Yeah, those wait, hold on a second. So anyway, they're in the ring. I'm gonna get back to those. I'm gonna get back to this all this stuff. Carlson, what's going on? Mr. Ice Time, what's up? Noodles, sexy midgets. Boom, back to he's wrestling the guy in the main event. We're sitting there watching. I'm sitting at my gimmick table watching this match, and all of a sudden the guy's like getting up, and Jake grabs his dentures, pulls them out of his mouth, and hands them to the referee. Like he grabs the referee's hand and sticks his dentures right in the hands of the referee. Grabs the dude and DDTs him, gets back up, grabs his teeth, sticks them back in his mouth, and goes for the cover and gets the pin. Was so fucking hilarious. I don't know what was better, like him taking his teeth out, or after he hits the DDT, he puts his teeth back in. It was just completely ridiculous. Uh, any hot chick wrestlers. Okay, when you say hot chick, okay, let me try to uh, when you say any hot chick wrestlers, are you asking if I know any, or are you asking if I've seen any, or what are you thinking? Just out of curiosity. Just wondering what you mean by that. So I can I'm Noodles, I'm gonna let you rephrase the question because I could go a lot of different ways with that and I don't know if I wanna. No. I'm kind of tired, Carlson. I'm just kind of got a little tired from being out in the sun all day. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna look at this in a second. Okay, smoking hot wrestlers that you wish you could have body slammed. Okay, like I said, you might want to rephrase that to like when you say body slammed, do you mean like pick up and body slam, or do you mean like body slammed? No, I'll be honest with you. Like when it came to wrestling, for me, honestly, and you guys are all gonna be like, yeah, right, whatever. There were all. I mean, all the dudes are my brothers, and all the women are my sisters. They all. That's how it always was. I didn't want to do. There was guys in there that did that, and they would degrade the women and treat them like trash. Like, and I wasn't like I know I wasn't brought up that way to, you know. Yeah, I'm gonna rag on my brothers and sisters. You know what I mean? I'm gonna fuck with them, but I'm not gonna. I'm not. I'm not that way. I wasn't brought into like I was brought into the wrestling business to respect and just like life, and I respect people for being people. So I'm not gonna be there, groping women and stuff like that. I never really thought of it that way. Just playing around with you though. Um, as far as that goes, yeah, there's some. I mean, they're good looking women. I'm not. Don't get me wrong. 100%. 100%. But when you're in that business, you're supposed to have you're supposed to look good. Whether you're a bad guy or a good guy, bad girl, good girl, playing the part, you got to look like you're able to tear everybody up. I never wanted to have sex with any female wrestler either. Yeah, I did. I have a picture somewhere with her. I don't know where it is. She's like in my arms, like I'm holding her. I have to see if I can find it. And then she just she's a mess. All right, let's go back here. Said she's in jail. Well, she killed somebody. She freaking killed somebody. It was great. I just didn't have I didn't have my camera stuff ready. Good, stupid. And then when I did get my camera out, the freaking ranger came and shut us down. Fucking park ranger shut down Yogi and Boo Boo's fucking fantastic adventure. There's a retired wrestler said 80% of men and they were fudge packers. Oh yeah. Yeah, a lot of the dudes. I mean, I don't know that it's still going on now, but I know back in the 80s and early 90s, a lot of those guys that got their shots, um, no, I didn't. Um, a lot of those guys that got their shots got it because they let someone in the office, pack their stool in. That's how they got their tryouts or got their dart. Their those guys that were in there getting pounded on, um, were getting they're pounded in. They were getting their stool softened. Those- They were getting their ass sprung. The Ring Boy scandal. Oh man. Oh man. All right, Carson. Yeah, it was. Well, I'm sure you already know. You probably read it in the papers. It's funny. I keep saying I want to tell. I have so many freaking stories. I want to get out, and not even from wrestling. I have a pretty crazy. Like I think I was telling you guys the other day, pretty whacked out family. I mean, I think my live stream on Friday, I talked about, and now it's okay to talk about it because my family members have long passed on, and it's not like we're going to go to jail for what happened, or what happened, or what they did. They're not. What are they going to do? Lock me up? But yeah, I got a lot. I got a lot of stories I want to get out on here, and I guess I'll just do one at a time. I don't want to throw everything up at once. Excuse me. What the hell? Oh man, where are we at here? uh, Eric Justin said, "Join the club. Join the club." I'm telling you, man. I did join the club. I didn't get my asshole pastered though. I'm not into that shit. I don't want anything in my asshole, especially a pineapple. Oh, wise decision. A wise decision. Yes, it is. So we covered those questions. We covered trying to remember where we were at. Or we can go back, add, make money, tell you to eat the pineapple in reverse. You can eat the pineapple in reverse. Oh, about that. Addie McMoney? What? It's great you weren't a poop shooter. Yeah, it's. I mean, don't get me wrong. At the same time, there's a lot of guys that got starts because they did have talent. I mean, it wasn't that they were getting their backs blown out by the front office guys, but like they actually had talent, you know. And then at the same time, there was guys out there that said, "Oh yeah, he let so and so fucking stretch his fucking balloon knot out." But at the same time, no, it was because they actually had talent, and someone else in the office realized that it wasn't about the size of their asshole. It was about what they did in the ring, and they knew that they could get people in the seats. You know, because when it comes down to it, asses in seats is the people that you want in your locker room, and that's what it always came down to. You could get, you know, you sell tickets. All right, well, you're going to be on the show. You can't sell tickets. Well, you're going to be on the other side of the fence buying a ticket. And that's the way it went, you know. You didn't earn your keep. Well, you belonged in the crowd. You know, if you were training, you were in the crowd. You were clapping and getting the crowd behind the people in the ring. That was your job. You were filling seats somehow. There were rumors about Shawn Michaels and Vince McMahon. What, getting their what, pounding each other's pudding out, or I know there was animosity between Shawn and Brett, real animosity over Sonny, but that's a whole nother documentary. That's a whole nother documentary. I'm sure they were catching each other. But do you think that Vince McMahon shit on Shawn Michaels, or did you think Shawn Michaels shit on Vince McMahon? Vince McMahon was shitting on everybody, literally. He was the R. Kelly of pro wrestling. Yeah, craziness. They were yucking each other up. Hey, someone was asking me a question about something, and I was giving him an answer. I wonder if Owen Hart's death wasn't an accident. Um, let's see. There was birds. Wonder if Owen Hart's death wasn't an accident. And I'm sure it was an accident. It was. lack of there was a few things there. Owen didn't want to do it. Number one, Owen didn't want to do it. I think it was Vince Russo that wanted him to. I think it was Vince Russo. I think it was Vince Russo. Vince Russo wanted him to do it, and they, I don't know who was cutting costs at the time, but they were cutting costs on their subcontractors, and they brought a different subcontractor in at the pay per view that night to do the harness hookup, and apparently they used the wrong um, carabiners. Like they may have used the ones that they sell at like the checkout counter to hold a man up. You know what I mean? Like they weren't using the right equipment, basically. Um, there's a Wild Bergs. What the heck's a Wild Bergs? But I think it was, and like I said, I heard people that were there literally in front of me say, um, Owen didn't want to do it. He did not want to do it, and they made him do it. I don't think it was like someone did it on, I don't think anyone did it on purpose because everyone, from what I gathered from everybody, like everyone loved Owen. Everyone thought Owen was a great guy. Um, he was way ahead of his time, and we were having discussions about things like that, like if Owen and Benoit and Davy Boy, or I'm sorry, Dynamite Kid, if those guys didn't die, could you imagine how much better wrestling would be right now? Eddie Guerrero. Could you imagine how great I probably would have I probably would have still been around like doing it, but because I think the whole landscape of wrestling would be completely different if those guys were still around. Guys at fault for their spots, not handed them because they bent over and opened their asshole up, or um, you know, tallied around and didn't train, because those guys were the ones that were beating those guys down and spotting that shit. The 80s was the last great time of wrestling. Um, it depends, The 90s weren't bad. The 90s weren't bad for uh, uh WCW, and then when the Monday Night Wars started, I think honestly the Monday Night Wars was the best thing for wrestling ever. The Monday Night Wars um got a lot of guys that are in there now, but we lost a lot. Like there was a lot of people that died during that time um that ended things. But hey, listen, the Monday Night Wars, that was the best time for wrestling because everyone was competing for the number one position. And um, when you have competition in wrestling, everyone strives to be better. Everyone in the car, everyone in the locker room, when you're playing up against somebody right neck to neck like that, you're playing for ratings and you're doing it the correct way. Well, you end up with magic. It's just the way it goes. It's just the way it goes. It's crazy. It's insane. Trust me, there's nothing wrong with the 80s. 70s and 80s were great for wrestling.
I think if the wrestlers told stories back then. But when the Monday Night Wars came around, the guys had to wrestle more. They had to do more. They had to entertain more. Their matches got quicker. There was no throwaway matches anymore. Throwaway matches are a thing of the past. You know, you need those to build though. But that's just the way of the way of the business, as they say. Michelle Dixon Butterfly. Yes, what? Well, guys. Oh, my eyes. Ugh. Well, I'm about half wore out. I need to wake up. I need to wake up and do some things. Hollywood is going to be down the drain too. Hollywood is going down the drain too. Oh. So growing up, it was wrestling. And if it wasn't wrestling, it was music. I love music. I love wrestling. Family. Yesterday, I had to go home. Okay. And I didn't really get into the Hollywood thing. Like, I mean, I watched movies. I was always into horror movies um, growing up. So that's all I really watched. I would watch the same movies over. It was funny. Like, there was a couple movies out there that I'd watched, like The Warriors, um, 3 O'Clock High, the Star Wars saga, the first three Star Wars that came out originally, um, all the Friday the 13th that were out at the time, Nightmare on Elm Street, Halloween, and that's all. That was all I watched. Like, I didn't really have a lot of movies that I watched, but there was a few that I was like, this is all I'm gonna watch. This is all I'm gonna watch. This is all I'm gonna watch over and over and over, over and over. And Night of the Living Dead, Return of the Living Dead, uh, the Demons movies, um, Nasty Goblins. Oh, that's cool. I seen that and I didn't get to watch the video. I didn't get to watch the video for it, but I did see that Noodles had that up. I have to look at that. I have to look at that. I love horror movies. I love horror movies. I've always loved horror movies. That's why my filter's the way it is with that 35 millimeter like grit look to it. Horror movie has no classic TNA, Eric. There's nothing wrong with that. Like, that wasn't really a big thing for me. Like, okay, yeah, you see some boobs, whatever. You know, if the story's good, and I always liked it almost was like, even though it was completely like you knew it could never exist, but it was enough that you were like, holy fuck. Like, when I watched Night of the Living Dead, when I watched the original Night of the Living Dead,
I'll sit here and watch it, and then I look outside, and if I see someone walking down the fucking street, I have the biggest fucking panic attack ever. I start getting anxieties, and I'm like, fuck, there's zombies outside. Holy shit. I watched the movie and it made it happen. Oh, it did. It did. It did. It did. And they always had like the funniest things that they said when they pulled their tits out. But that's the thing that I like about horror movies is like if the director can get me to the point where I'm fucking, I'm like my fucking door is cracked open when I'm watching a movie, I'm closing the fucking door. If my window's cracked, I'm closing the fucking window. I want to have that whole fucking someone's fucking standing on my roof looking in at me right now. And I look outside, and then if I see somebody standing there looking at me, I'm freaking the fuck out. If I see a creepy mask, I want to be like, oh shit. And I still get that off of some movies. Like, it's fucking hard to watch The Exorcist. To sit there and not and just have the look in your fucking like, yo, this shit was probably fucking real. That's why they made the movie. Someone had to fucking have that. You don't just come up with that shit. I don't care. Someone had to see something that made them think about that fucking movie. Someone seen some shit. It reminded me of the Troll movies, the Troll 2 movie. From what I was like watching, a little bit of it that I watched, it reminded me of Trolls 2, which was a terrible fucking movie. Nothing against your movie, I just fucking hate Trolls 2. And it wasn't even the trolls, it was the fucking family. They were the worst actors in the fucking world. The worst fucking actors I've ever seen in my fucking life. You ever watch that movie? When he's like, they're gonna eat me. Oh my god. Split ham and pea soup. Split ham and fucking pea soup. Oh, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. The original Texas Chainsaw Massacre. The first time I seen that fucking movie, holy fuck. Oh my fucking god. If I'd be sitting anywhere and someone would like kickstart a motorcycle or pull the fucking string on a fucking chainsaw or even a weed whacker, oh god. No wonder I have fucking anxieties. It's kind of like, when you go fucking swimming in the ocean, whenever you go into the water, you hear the Jaws fucking theme. It's like they are fucking playing it underwater, and your fucking ears close up, and all you hear is, wah, 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 wah. And it's like, you hear the fucking music as soon as you go into the water. Yes, they're eating her, and now they're going to eat me too. Oh my god! I hate them. And I've watched it so many times, and yeah, I say I hate it. I just don't like the actors in here are so fucking terrible. The 1971 version was the worst and scariest. The Texas Chainsaw Massacre. And then they came out with part 2. Oh my fuck. To eat them deep underground. That works. Yeah, Texas Chainsaw Massacre. When they, oh my god, that first fucking movie, they couldn't make it any better. I don't care how many fucking remakes they make. That fucking when he opened the door up and the guy was, and all of a sudden he's just standing there with the fucking sledgehammer, and just fuck. Could you imagine opening a fucking going down to tie your shoe, and this fucking macabre looking motherfucker standing over top of you with a short fucking 50-pound sledgehammer and just lays it into the back of your fucking snot pumpkin and blows your fucking the whole back of your head open? Oh my god. Forget about it. Forget about it. Shit. Critters and fucking ghoulies. Remember the ghoulies? Was like four of those, five. And Blackie Lawless from Wasp. I think he was in one of them. He was in one of them, or I think Wasp did the soundtrack or something like that. Remember that, the Manimal? Blackie Lawless. That guy's had so much plastic surgery. Ghoulies. The Gate. They had two parts to that. That was one of the coolest things ever. The kid like played the album backwards, and then the gate opened. That was awesome. That was so great. And then they made a part two that was kind of Tremors. Yes, Kevin Bacon was in the first one. Reba McEntire was in it also. And the guy from, oh man, I forget the guy's name. I forget the guy's name from Big Trouble in Little China. Egg Chan. He was in it. Egg Chan. Wasn't that such a great movie? Big Trouble in Little China. Such a great movie. So many characters from Mortal Kombat came out of that. Burt Gummer. Is that what his name? Was that his name? I never knew what his name was. They should have made Big Trouble in Little China too. They should have made another one. They should have. It was such a great movie. Such a great movie. Stupid movie, but great movie. You know, I think it was just a story. Like, it was a story and then the comedy with it that made the whole thing. Like, it was like comedy, action, drama, but then it went back to comedy. I think they just had a good mix of enough mix of everything, and then the the action scenes were really good, and they just made it all. Do you think Stuttering John has any talent? I don't know what you're talking about. You think I liked his gun-toting personality. But yeah, where was I at? Back to those movies. Good. Where were we at? Hold on. The Tremors movies. Yeah, you know, I watched them up to. I think I might have watched Tremors 3. And then I'm sure there was a couple more after that. Oh yeah. But just think about like how many things off of there turned into characters for Mortal Kombat. It's just so crazy. Because I remember the first time I seen Mortal Kombat, and I was like, "It's the guys from Big Trouble in Little China. It's Lo Pan." That's the first thing I thought of when I seen Mortal Kombat. I was like, they made a Big Trouble in Little China video game. It's not. Why did they name it Mortal Kombat? That was like the first time I ever seen Mortal. I didn't know what Mortal Kombat was, and I see it in the arcade, and I was like, looks kind of weird. And all these characters on here are from Big Trouble in Little China. That was really, really awesome. Oh man. Hang on, guys. I gotta use the bathroom. All right. Where are we at? Mm. All right, where are we at, guys? Sorry. Oh man. You ever meet New Jack? Yeah, yeah, I have. I have met New Jack. I have met New Jack. Oh, you? Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, I met New Jack. I'll tell you that story another time. Slingshot Warrior, you have a good one. Have a good sleep. Snake. This should have easily been in Metal Gear 2 movies. Snake. Poliskin. I never watched any of the Metal Gear movies. And you know what? Started playing Metal Gear when the first one came out. When it first came out on Nintendo. I hated that game. It was so hard to play. Because I was always like I'm huge into like Mario Brothers. Like I love Mario Brothers. A huge Mario fan. And and I never really got into the Metal Gear. Like I played a lot of the like I play a lot of retro games. I still do. Yeah, I play like the black box games, um, Punch Out, Kung Fu Master, uh, Kid Niki, Ghost and Ghouls, or Ghost and Goblins, whatever you want to call it. Um, I had like a lot of the Nintendo, release games when they came out. So a lot of those older ones I did play. Black and white shot of the ceiling is a great start of Justice movie. I always thought of a great like thing for a movie was I think they did it on Psycho when the water was going into the water and the blood were going into the drain. Like I always thought that would be cool to like get that going in, and then as you went in, you came back out, and it was an eyeball all with like blood around it. So it like, and then it went out, and then it was like a person decaying, and that's how the movie would start. I don't know. Oh man, what we got here? It's almost impossible to be unless you get one of those secret keys you need. I must be way ahead. I'm always sleepy. That sun took it out of me today. I was hot. It was a hot day. I was in the sun for a little bit today. I'm not used to being out in the sun. I'm not. I'm not used to being out outside for that long. Not just standing there like that. I'm not used to it. Like I'm used to being outside, but not standing in the sun like that. Now I'm all tired. So now I'm kind of just relaxing. I don't even know that I want to get up. Yeah, those days for me are over. I don't do that stuff no more. I'll have somebody come do it for me. Or I'm renting a mini skid loader. Or I'm getting a skid loader and doing it. I'm not. Nope, I'm not doing nothing by hand anymore. I make enough money that I can get the equipment or get somebody else to do it for me. I don't do that no more. Forget that. I work smarter, not harder. Freaking. Would you just put sand down? I would have just put sand down. That's what I would do. I would just put sand down and call it a day. I live on a hill. Yeah, I would be getting some. I would be getting a skid loader. Forget that. Forget that. Oh man. That's crazy. Nope. Nope, 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 nope. That's great. Oh well. It's about an hour and 15. I think it's about time to get off of here. Set me a pick. Hang on a second. Hmm. What the hell? Hold on, I'm looking. I'm looking. Hang on. Oh, you had to use a rototiller? Is that the pole you're putting up? The one that's laying there? The little one? I'm just kidding, man. You had to use the tiller on that? Did you? Is that what that is? Is that a tiller? $16 by $8. That's crazy, man. It's too hot out there for all that. It's too hot for all that. No, man. No way. I'm not doing that. That's crazy. Yeah, I know it made it easier, but Christ, man. All right, take it easy, comedy. That's crazy, man. That's just a lot. That's a lot of work. That's a little too much for me. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. That's good. That's going to be hot. It's going to be hot. All right, dude. Take it easy. Talk to you soon. Who else was in here? Brienne, Nicole. Hello. How are you? Oh, all right. Looks like everyone's out of here. I think I'm gonna move. I think I'm gonna jump out. I want to say peace out to everybody. I'm getting out of here. I'm tired. I'm gonna take some. I'm gonna take a nap. I'm gonna take a nap. I'll talk to you guys soon. Talk to you guys soon.